Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're going to dig into a really fascinating idea, one that kind of flips everything we've been taught about success completely upside down. It's all based on the framework from Robert Kiyosaki.
All right, so let's just jump right in. Have you ever wondered why the smartest kids in class, the straight A students, the valedictorians, often end up working for the C students, the ones who kind of struggled in school? It's a wild thought, right? So let's really break this down.
Okay, first up, we've got what the source material calls the A student paradox, and it basically throws a huge wrench in that old idea that good grades automatically equal massive success in life. It's just not that simple.
I mean, just look at this list. It's incredible. You've got Thomas Edison, Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, a whole bunch of college dropouts. You see, our school system is really good at rewarding people who follow the rules. But the genius of these guys? It was all about breaking the rules, or just making up entirely new ones. They didn't find success by playing the game, they found it by changing the game or leaving it altogether.
And this quote from Professor Karen Arnold really hits the nail on the head. She actually studied valedictorians and discovered, they are absolute masters at school. But here's the kicker. Being good at a structured game with clear rules tells you almost nothing about how they'll handle, real life. The messy, unpredictable, what the heck do I do now moments that we all face.
So what's the secret sauce here? What's the real difference? Well, the source material breaks it down using this powerful story of two dads. Each one has a totally different way of thinking about the world. You've got the poor dad, who has that traditional A student mindset. And then you have the rich dad, who's got the mindset of a C student entrepreneur. And the advice they give? It's like night and day. The poor dad, with that A student thinking, is all about security. You know the drill. Go to school, get good grades, get a safe job. But the rich dad, with the C student mindset, he's all about freedom. His advice is, go to school to learn how to buy assets so your money starts working for you.
Now, to really get what the rich dad is talking about, you gotta learn his vocabulary, and the first word is asset. Forget whatever complicated definition you learned in school. In this framework, it's super simple. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket. That's it. Think a rental property that pays you every month, or stocks that pay you dividends.
And on the flip side, you have a liability. And yeah, you guessed it, it's just as simple. A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. Your car payment, your credit card debt, you know the stuff. It all comes down to one question about cash flow. Does it pay you, or do you pay it?
Okay, so based on those simple definitions, here comes the bombshell. The source argues that your personal home is a liability, not an asset. Whoa, right? Think about it. You're constantly paying for it. The mortgage, the taxes, the repairs. It's just taking money out of your pocket, month after month. And that one idea, right there, it challenges the very bedrock of the traditional American dream.
All right, this leads us to the central idea for understanding all of this. It's called the cash flow quadrant. It's basically a simple map that shows the 4 ways anyone can earn an income. So here it is. This grid breaks down the 4 ways to make money. Most of us live on the left side. You're either an E for employee, where you have a job, or you're an S for self-employed or specialist, where you basically own a job. The whole goal, according to this framework, is to get over to the right side. To become a B for business owner, where you own a system, or an I for investor, where your money is doing all the work for you.
And boom, here's where it all connects back to our A students. Our entire education system, think about it, from kindergarten all the way through college and even grad school, it is a machine designed to create amazing employees and specialists. It's built to train people for success on the left side of this quadrant.
But the C student entrepreneur, they're playing a totally different ballgame. They're not thinking about getting a job. They're obsessed with building systems and buying assets, the things that will put them squarely on the right side of the quadrant.
And this is such a critical point. It's not about your profession, it's about your quadrant. You could be a brilliant doctor, but if you're self-employed, you're still in the S quadrant, trading your time for money. Now imagine a teacher who builds an online course. That's a system, and operates from the B quadrant. That teacher could potentially earn way more than the doctor. It's a game changer.
So you might be asking, okay, why is the right side so much better? Well, it's because the rules of money are literally different over there. The whole system, debt, taxes, it's set up with a different rulebook depending on which quadrant you call home.
Get this, there are 2 kinds of debt. There's bad debt, the
the kind most of us know all too well, borrowing for a new car or a vacation. That stuff just makes you poorer. But then there's good debt. This is the kind the wealthy use. It's when you borrow money to buy an asset that makes you money, like a loan for a rental property. Good debt can actually make you richer.
And then there are taxes. The tax code is not fair, not by a long shot. It's a system of incentives. The money you make on the left side, as an employee or self-employed, that's earned income, and it gets taxed at the highest possible rates. But the money made on the right side, passive or portfolio income, that's taxed at the lowest rates, sometimes not at all.
And that right there is the unfair advantage we're talking about. This is how capitalists in the B and I quadrants can legally make millions and pay a lower tax rate than their own employees. You see those headlines all the time, right? Well, this is why. The system is literally designed to reward the people who create businesses and assets.
Okay, so after all of that, let's talk about the real world. After graduation, what's the new report card? What's the real measure of success? The source material says it's probably not what you're thinking.
So, picture this. You walk across that stage, you get your diploma, your GPA, your honors. Honestly, after a while, nobody really cares. They get filed away. In the real world, there's a totally different report card that takes over. Any guesses what it is?
It's your financial statement. Yep, that's it. Your income, your expenses, your assets, your liabilities. That's the paper that a banker looks at when you want a loan. It tells the real story of how you're doing. And at the end of the day, it's the only report card that really truly matters. So, how do you ace this new report card? The answer is financial literacy. It's the path we've been talking about. First, you gotta learn the language of money. Then, you have to truly understand the difference between an asset and a liability. After that, you focus everything on acquiring those cash-flowing assets. And finally, you learn how to use good debt and the tax laws in your favor. And that brings us right back to where we started. Why do A students work for C students? Because school teaches you how to be a great employee, how to thrive on the left side of the quadrant. The C students, meanwhile, were off learning a different set of rules. They were learning how to be the business owners and investors on the right side, the people who create the very systems and jobs that the A students work in. So let's leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your own life. Is the path you're on, is your education preparing you for the quadrant you really want to be in? And maybe the biggest question of all is, which report card are you spending all your time trying to ace?